y'all. 044. Yes, y'all. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router and Timothy Hall. As always, kids and wives and 9-to-5s, but we are married to the games. Thank you guys for being here. We are so excited. We have an exciting show today, at least for us. And it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have fun today. It's beautiful outside, and we're going to be talking video games and life and video games. I'm so excited. Today is the spoiler cast for The Last of Us, and how this is going to work. Don't click off just yet if you haven't finished the game. How this will work is we'll do the show as regular. We'll do the questions as regular. And then at the end, we'll give you a nice big old warning that says, here it comes. If you haven't played or finished the game and want to finish it or want to play it, turn it off.
And we'll do it in slow motion. We'll be like, here's the spoiler.
3, 2, 1.
Spoiler. So that's how it'll work. So we won't spoil it during the show. Of course, we would never do that. We're more responsible than that. We're not incredibly responsible, except for maybe Timothy Hall, but we're more responsible than that. So
why'd you point me out for responsibility?
Yeah, he's calling you out, bud.
I don't know. You just come across as a responsible guy to me.
Yeah.
Why are you offended for being responsible?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You're like, hey, why do you think I'm responsible?
Yeah, don't put that on me.
You don't know me like that. I could be very, very irresponsible at times. Anyway, since I'm talking to you already, Hall, how you been?
I've just been marathon manning The Last of Us to get it done for this spoiler cast. Last night finished it.
Thank you.
You're a good man. You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
I wanted to finish it up because I know I'm going to be interviewing Phil Kovacs today. He's the audio lead on The Last of Us, and we're going to feature that interview in next week's episode.
Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, and I wanted to have the whole game done. Gosh, I'm trying to think. Yeah, just The Last of Us. Went and downloaded my free copy of Assassin's Creed 2 last night on Xbox.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they're doing some of the free game stuff over there.
They caught the bug.
But they're giving away like a lot of stuff that people probably already have. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's with all free stuff.
I know. Well, they gave away. I mean, giving away XCOM on PSN was just brilliant,
dude.
I mean, that game can't be missed.
I'm on the last level right now.
That's so awesome.
I like it.
But yeah, I've been just kind of like keeping an eye on the sales and stuff, and I think I'm going to pick up the new Magic game. They've been doing that Magic the Gathering. They've been doing that 2012, 2013, 2014, and I bought like every single one.
Okay.
I haven't bought 2014 yet, but basically, I mean, like I said, like I was never into the card game. Like I bought the cards when I was a kid, and I was like, this is confusing. I don't even want to try to learn this. And then the video game makes the game really easy, and it's really fun because it's a strategy type of card game. And I don't know. I think I'm really into those strategy games, especially on like console when they've kind of formatted it for the controller.
Yeah. People get serious about that doggone Magic. I remember I saw a friend from high school that I hadn't seen in a couple years playing Magic the Gathering in the middle of the food court in our mall here in Cool Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I just left him alone. I was like, ooh, I should say hi. Oh, man, he in the middle of a heated battle right now, tapping stuff and untapping stuff. I'll just catch him in like 3 more years.
That's awesome.
That's okay, buddy.
You're good.
Hey, that's where PlayStation Plus, like, that's where they kind of win their effort, I guess, because what happened was, I think that was one of the first games that was free on PlayStation Plus was the original Magic card game. And it sat on my hard drive for probably almost a year. I was like, it's like, I guess I'll finally try this thing. Like, I'm Like I was kind of thinking like, I'm not going to be interested in this really, but I'll download it anyway. It's free with my subscription, so
Sure.
and yeah, like I opened it up and I went through the tutorial and I started playing it. And I was like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. Like it's
A lot funner than you thought, huh?
yeah, like it's. I think that I enjoy it a lot because it's an actual like it's a video game. Like it's almost like video poker. You don't have to get the cards out and
Right.
but that's not a really good example because poker is nothing like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. You're saying all the trouble. It's like playing Monopoly on your iPad. You don't have to get the board out, then divvy out the money and the dice.
Exactly.
Like it's just easy.
Exactly. Especially with a game like Magic because there's so many like rules and little things that you have to remember. So
Yeah, you don't have
it's
to
cool
keep up with that.
Yeah, the game just does it for you. Like I still to this day probably couldn't sit down and play the card game, like the brick and mortar card game, but I could actually sit and just play the console game. It's a lot, it's just it does everything for you.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a pretty cool game, and I've bought every single year of it since I played that free one I got from PS Plus. So, like I said, I really like what they do by giving away the first edition or the older version or something just to get you on to the other ones. I'm kind of hoping that's what happens with Assassin's Creed 2 because I've never played it. And like I said, Xbox Live has it for free. I think it's either just this week or it's for the next 2 weeks. But yeah, if you have Xbox Live Gold, go pick it up for sure. I'm just
It's
hoping
not the best one, but it's good.
I've heard that it's really good, so I'm gonna go, play it and see if I really enjoy it, and then that'll tell me if I want to jump onto 3 or not. So
It'll definitely make you want to jump to Brotherhood. Brotherhood was really good.
Yeah, Brotherhood.
That's what I keep hearing from everybody.
It's so good,
Yeah.
man. Don't even bother with like between two and 3. It's like completely different. That's the problem.
Yeah, that was the thing. I played 1, and I was just kind of turned off to playing any more of them because 1 was kind of repetitive and boring.
2 is the same way a little bit.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
But Brotherhood's great.
But they did fix some things. Like when 2 came out years ago, that was one of the things they focused on. They were like, all right, we heard y'all said the first one is too repetitive. So we're going to try to not make this one as repetitive. And it didn't fully work, but it's not as repetitive as 1, but it still feels very repetitive. And then Brotherhood's got a different spin on it. So you're still kind of, I didn't feel like it was nearly as repetitive as the first 2.
Well, I heard with Brotherhood too, they kind of put kind of like a management mini game into there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. So maybe I should just jump to that. I mean, I've seen it for dirt cheap, so I'll
There
go
you
pick
go.
that up.
Awesome. So you're having a good week. You gaming it up.
Yeah, man, I think I cleared about 10 hours on The Last of Us, and I think when I finished it, I probably had about 16 or 17. I'm not sure, real sure.
How many collectibles? Do you remember?
The last time I checked was when I was 89% complete, and I think I had like 77 or something.
There you go.
Nice.
Nicely done. We'll have to swap. I don't have trophies for that game.
That game,
Shoot.
actually, that game is really slim with the trophies, because I think I only got a few.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
A lot of their trophies, I think, are either hidden or they're just like multi-collectible things, like collect everything. Or participate in all optional dialogue, which I probably missed one.
It's not like you collected most things. Good job. It's all or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly what they are, but they're pretty tough. So.
Yeah, they're sparse.
Sweet. Router,
Yes, sir.
what'd it do?
It's weed pollen season, everybody. I'm already starting to feel it. I went to the allergist this week, and they're like, yeah, weed pollen's kicking in early. And I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. And I'm feeling it. It's weird. Like, it's so weird how the different pollens kind of affect you. Like, it's all just in my nose right now. And I'm like, oh. And it just happens in the morning. And once I get my my meds in and my nose sprays, I'm feeling a lot better. But the mornings are just like, oh. I feel like
It's your Bay Area fog. Like
Exactly.
every morning, Bay Area has
Exactly.
fog. It clears up.
It is. I just wake up and I'm like, okay, let's get the day started.
I can't wait to hear what you actually sound like a year from now when you've got all the shots
know, right?
and
It'll be
medication
amazing.
in you.
I'll be like,
I'm not even
good
gonna know
morning,
you."
ladies and gentlemen.
You're going to have an accent all of a sudden.
I know, right? I'll be British all of a sudden. It'll be great. Apart from that, it has been nothing but kids, wives, and 9-to-5s. I have not played a single thing this week.
Come on.
Work's just been killing me. And I had to take my baby girl to the doctor's, 2 times or 3 times? Because
What the heck?
I know she just finished, she had an ear infection. And then she's still been spiking this weird fever. It's not like a high fever, but it's just been roller coastering for the last couple of days. So we took her in on Friday. Doctor checked her ears, everything's fine, and said, well, she probably just has a virus, her throat's sore. Great. So over the weekend, it was fine. And then on Monday, she had like 100.5 fever, and we're like, all right,
What?
we gotta go. Yeah, we gotta go back in. Everything's fine. She apparently just has this ongoing virus. Everything checked out fine, and so yeah, I've been dealing with that. But she's been a normal 17-month-old child, though. She's running around like crazy, terrorizing everybody. So it's not affecting her, which is great. But she, her body's still fighting something. So we're just trying to figure out what that is.
Goodness gracious.
But so yeah, it's been all work and then all child. And it's just been kind of killing me. But yeah, so I've been trying to get to The Walking Dead, just haven't done it yet. It doesn't help that upstairs in my loft it is like 110 degrees because I'm still I'm getting quotes for a new HVAC unit because it's crapped out up there, and they're just taking their sweet time. So it's been a lot of like grown-up stuff I got to do. It sucks.
Yeah, that's no good.
I don't want to do that. That sucks.
That's not good at all.
So yeah, I've got a crapped out HVAC unit, a sickly child somewhat, and just a ton of work. So that's what I've been going. But let's see, I upgraded my MacBook Pro's RAM. I maxed it out, and that was good.
Nice.
So that was fun. And it was kind of a selfish reason because 2 weeks ago, Hall had told me about good old, what was it, GOG.com?
Oh yeah, good old games.
Good old games, and he told me The Witcher 2 was on sale, and that's one game I've always wanted to play, but because I don't have an Xbox or I didn't really have a PC, I never played it, but it was available for Mac, so I downloaded it, and I tested it out, and it was like, screw this. I'm like, screw this. I have a 17-inch wide MacBook Pro. It was the last gen before they finished it, and I'm like, I've got the power for it, so I'm like, forget it. So I went and maxed out the RAM, and I tested it really quickly, and I'm like, okay, that's so much better.
Yeah, you might want to lower the settings a little bit too if it's still jittery. So
yeah, no, it's definitely worlds better now. So
okay, that's great.
I haven't even gotten to really play it much, but man, I don't know if I'm a PC gamer because I'd love to just let me borrow one of your controllers or something. I'd rather have a controller than have to worry about the keyboards and
I think
and
you
mouse.
can can hook up to your PS3 controller. I'm pretty sure.
I'll have to look. It just said Xbox, but
I think you could. I think there's like probably an app for Mac where you can hook it up and it just tells it it's a controller. It's ready to go.
Okay,
So
I'll look into that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So I do want to play that too, but yeah, it's been no games and all work for me, which kind of stinks. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my life right now. But it's all good. I mean, I'll get to it. I see light at the end of the tunnel, which is nice.
There you go.
So yeah,
We hope that little girl gets better, man.
Yeah, she's been fine. It's just we just take her temperature every once in a while and we're like, okay, what's going on with this? But yeah, it's good. She's all good. What about you, Mr. Patillo? What's going on?
Man, it feels like a lot. I've been playing Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery EP. Remember I told you guys I went free on iOS last week. That game's freaking good. It's just stylistically it's so dope. The music's dope. The 8-bit graphics are really cool the way they do it, and so that's really cool. I've been playing a crap load of XCOM. I'm on the last level.
That is so
I would have
cool.
beat it yesterday, but Amara woke up an hour early from her nap, so I didn't. And I've been on the road. Yesterday I just got home and I leave tomorrow. And I leave tomorrow at 12 noon because we're driving to Wilmer, Minnesota, which is not close. And so we leave
At all?
Right. So we leave at noon. So I need a game to play on the drive. I think I'm going to play Dishonored or Infinite. I might jump to the BioShock thing just because people are so disappointed that we haven't played that game.
I know.
And then I started doing this thing called my favorite video game memory. And what I've been doing is, as I've just been talking to not the interviewees that we've been having lately, but just random people that I've met or that I'm already kind of doing life with. And I've been asking about their favorite video game memory. And I would love for our listeners to get in on this because I would love to compile it and it sound amazing, like towards the end of the year or something like that. So what I've been doing is I've been having people say, hey, my name is such and such. I'm from wherever I'm from. And my favorite video game memory is, and then just a little 10-second thing of their favorite video game memory. One of my buddies was like, Cruising USA and playing that with his buddies all night long. Another one of my friends said going to the arcades and seeing what was new. So I would love for our listeners to send in I know we sound amazing because Timothy Hall is great at editing and audio. But just on your iPhone, just record yourself saying your name, where you're from, and your favorite video game memory, and email it to us, mailbag@marriedtothegames.com. And I want to put these things together so other listeners can hear other listeners' stuff, because I know you guys hear from us a lot, but you guys don't always necessarily hear from each other. So I think it could be really cool to compile a big old list of favorite video game memories. So
That's a great idea.
Yeah, man. I was with Bradley C. this last week up in Wisconsin and got to go to the museum where he's got all his games. And that was amazing. And I videoed my butt off. So you guys be looking
You videoed your butt?
We probably did that too.
That's a different thing. That won't be on YouTube.
Yeah, they ban you for that typically.
Yeah. So I did a grip of video up there and with him just telling us about games and anybody who's into arcade games. I mean, this is where it started. And so, all of what we enjoy so much. So anyway, I'm going to be putting that video together and putting it up on YouTube soon. And it's going to be awesome. I pre-ordered my PS4. I went ahead and did it. I just bit the bullet. I was like, all right, I did it at Best Buy.
Good for you.
So I've got a little slip of paper saying that they have one for me. And then The Last of Us was such an incredible game for us and for me that I was like, man, I got to do something special for this one. And so I was like, man, what if I don't even know if I should explain it.
I wouldn't.
But The Last of Us was incredible. When I play an incredible game, I think this is what I might do. So y'all check it out.
They didn't think we would do it. Nothing to the games. Okay. No spoilers, please. Ellie and Joel out on the road. The Last of Us, baby. So let's go. Ellie and Joel out on the road. The Last of Us, baby. So let's go. Naughty Dog back at it again with another fresh game, another 10 out of 10. Been waiting for a year, didn't want it to end. Gave it till he getting silly with a pad and a pen. We running with that salt off, cause something's bound to pop off. Them hunters, they don't see me. Here, hold this mall talk. Leave your morals on the bathroom shelf. Armageddon's happened, and we all the world's got left. It's either them or us. No time to ride the fence. Clear the room, and all Ellie can say is that was intense. Ellie and Joel out on the road. The Last of Us, baby. So let's go. Ellie and Joel out on the road. The Last of Us, baby. So let's go. Those freaking clickers getting bricks to the head. Them sad sounding runners getting shift to the net. No one else is here to help you, not even the 5-0. It's all about survival, heading west like 5-0. Ellie got that potty mouth, you know what I'm talking about. About to show them what this lead pipe is all about. We crafting, wrapping up, scissors and tape, whatever it takes. I think Joe would whoop Nathan Drake. Come on. Ellie and Joe, out on the road, the last of us, baby. So let's go. Ellie and Joe, out on the road, the last of us, baby. So let's go. Ellie and Joe, out on the road, the last of us, baby. So let's go. Ellie and Joe, out on the road, the last of us, baby. So let's go. So let's go. So let's go.
That'll do, Gabe. That'll do.
That's awesome, Hall. Oh, that's awesome. Gabe,
Okay, well, I'm never doing one of those ever again.
No.
It was really good, man.
Oh,
Gabe, that
thanks.
was brilliant,
It was fun.
man. Good
It
job.
was
Yeah.
good. I was just being my responsible self
That's right.
and not getting excited.
His responsible, reserved self. That was
Yeah,
great,
exactly.
Gabe. Well done,
Oh,
Gabe.
man. Yeah, it was fun. I was like, man, I want to do something fun for the podcast and something that's a little different and that people wouldn't be expecting.
It was
And
perfect.
so
Perfect.
that's what I came up with.
Well done, Mr.
Okay,
Gabe
good.
Patillo.
Yeah, we got to
Thank you,
get that
thank
up
you.
on the YouTube channel and stuff.
Dude, I think we might have a lyric video coming for it.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That would be awesome.
That's even better. Love it.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for appeasing me. It was fun.
Well
I'm
done.
not trying to rap for a living. I was just trying to do something fun. So don't stop comparing me to people already. I can feel people comparing me. All right. Router, do it to it.
All right, let's do it to it. New releases this week. We've got Dynasty Warriors 8 for Xbox 360. FIFA 14 came out for the Vita. Shin Megami Tensei 4 for 3DS. The Serious Sam Collection for Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah. Serious Sam.
The Sims 3 Expansion Pack Bundle for PC. Time and Eternity for the PS3. And then Turbo Super Stunt Squad. That's in line with the movie coming out about the snail. That's for all consoles: PS3, 3DS, Xbox, DS, Wii U, and Wii.
Okay, well, it's clear that we know which game was this week's winner.
In the top grossing games?
Yes.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, clearly for the
Turbo.
Exactly. A snail beat everybody, people. That's what happened.
Right.
That just happened. No, it's all good. Top selling games for this week ending July 6th. The Last of Us, of course, is continuing to kick butt. The fastest selling new software title for PlayStation.
Wow.
Yeah. Period.
Or for the PlayStation 3?
Okay, so, yeah, for PlayStation 3. Last of Us, fastest selling game on PlayStation 3 for 2013. Figure takes into account boxed and digital sales. It's over 3.4 million. I'm sure it's close to 4 by now.
I remember seeing that last week.
Yeah.
Gracious.
So it's selling great in the US, and it's also selling really great in Japan, which is good.
Well, and what's interesting, didn't that dip to number 2 last week?
Yeah.
It went number 1, then number 2, then back to number 1?
Yeah. I mean, where I get my charts, though, I think it's mostly brick and mortar stuff. And, I did some research to try to find some other, like, weekly chart information, and these guys pretty much are the top of
The best ones, huh?
all of them. So, because I'm trying to look for another one that may have a little bit more accurate stuff between the combination of digital and brick and mortar, but this is what I got, so we're going with
It's all good. It's all good.
So Last of Us was number 1. Number 2 is Animal Crossing, again, 4 weeks now. It's on the 3DS, and
Wowzers.
it's just crushing right now. Minecraft for Xbox 360 continues to stay up at number 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I cannot wait to stop saying that title. I'll be saying
It's going to be a while.
it's going to be a long time, but it's cool. Call of Duty, you can't mess with Call of Duty. MLB 13 The Show for PS3, number 5.
They have
Really?
a really good sale going on that. I hope it didn't end, but at Best Buy they had it for $20. So
Oh, wow.
It's always hard for me to buy sports games because of how quickly they depreciate in value.
yeah, if you're buying the show, man, you need to buy it at the beginning of the baseball season. Straight
Yeah.
up.
Right.
Well, plus MLB 14 is right around the corner, too, so it doesn't help. But number 6 was Project X Zone for 3DS. 7, Far Cry 3 for Xbox 360. They must be doing a sale.
Really?
Yeah, because it was number 9 last week, and it's climbing up a little bit.
That's interesting.
Number 8, Luigi's Mansion. Number 9, Just Dance 4.
Luigi's
number
Mansion.
10.
I can't believe that.
Connect Adventures for the Xbox 360. Paul's favorite.
Huh.
Yeah, very interesting stuff here. That some older titles are coming back up, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
I wish we could have a game night so we could go rent Minecraft for Xbox and finally just put like our actual opinion into this game.
You know, I downloaded the iOS one and
Mhm.
played it for 10 minutes, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm done. I couldn't do it. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, okay, this is, huh? What? Okay, I've got a pickaxe.
We're old.
I know, I've got a
We're
pickaxe,
old.
and I'm just chomping on stuff. Okay,
I watched one of Krista's cousins play a bunch of that game, and I was just like, all right.
yeah, right.
I did the same thing. I'm telling you, we're just old. We miss it.
Yeah,
We're
I think
missing
so.
it. There's something we're missing because I did the same thing with Dave, his son Dakota. I was like, all right, what is it about this freaking game? And I sat there and watched him hit some blocks and break them and fly around and hit a sheep. I was like, are you kidding? This is it? He was like, yeah, this is what you do. And then at nighttime, wolves come out. I was like, okay, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm officially old.
I think
I'm officially don't get it. Like, you remember when your parents just would not get whatever you were into, and you were like, how do you not get this? This is so fun. Millions of people are doing this, and they're like, I don't get it. Like, I'm officially that guy, and it makes me a little sad inside.
it makes me
Yeah.
sad too. But
We are all
Anyway.
officially that guy.
That's the thing,
sadly.
but you know what though, Gabe? We tried. That's the thing. We've tried it. So we may not get it, but as long as we can say that we've tried it, and we're like we still don't get it, then I think that merits something at least.
Yeah, I know, but I'm so scared that the next thing I'm going to say is I don't get these kids and their hair. And you're like, oh no, did I just say that?
Back in my day, bread was a nickel, and we loved it, and we were thankful.
Well, I don't know if I get it. Every time I go to a high school graduation, half the kids have Bieber cuts.
Oh, of course.
I don't get that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Me neither. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be Justin Bieber.
That's right.
So on July 15th, which was a couple days ago now, the NES turned 30. Well, I say that because it's a broad stroke. The Nintendo Entertainment System did not turn 30, but the Famicom turned
got it.
30, which
Very cool.
to us in the West would know it as the NES. It came out on July 15th, 1983 in Japan. It released alongside Donkey Kong Jr., and Popeye, which were big arcade games at the time for Nintendo. And the first run had a bad chipset in it. So this whole don't buy it when it's brand new thing goes way back to Nintendo. And they had to do a recall on them and replace them.
Oh, boy.
Put new motherboards in there, which was awesome. And I can only imagine how frustrating that is, because here you are, you got arcade success with these, with all these games. And then you're like, all right, here we go, pushing, and we're bringing them to the house, which is interesting. They originally wanted the Famicom, or I think it was Gamecom was the secret name for it at the time or something, to be 16-bit. But it was going to be too hard to do, and you would have really had to have given people kind of what they're doing now with the PlayStation, the Xbox, give people computers with like a keyboard and with a mouse and a disk drive, and they thought that it would just be too much for people that weren't technophiles. And so they stripped it back to 8-bit and released it, and it didn't do great at first.
I can imagine,
because it's crashing all over the place. And then in October 18th, 1985, they did a small little test run in New York City, and that was our first taste of the NES, and then it launched nationwide the next year.
Didn't they test it at FAO Schwartz, was it?
I mean, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
FAO Schwartz. There we go.
Schwartz.
That's
yeah. So happy birthday, Famicom.
Very cool.
Without you, the gaming world would be so much different.
It really would. It wouldn't be non-existent, but it would be. That was the first huge step, and it went on to sell, obviously, you guys know, crazy number of consoles.
What was the first huge step after Atari screwed up everything?
Well, they didn't screw up. It just wasn't different.
Well,
we'd all been doing a joystick.
E.T. Thank
Blame
you.
it on one game by itself. That's awesome.
E.T. and Pac-Man. I remember when I was a kid, I think it was my aunt had a Atari 2600, and I was like, oh, Pac-Man, awesome. And I put it in, and I played it, and I was like, this is ridiculous. This is not Pac-Man. What is this?
It was that bad?
It was terrible. Have you ever played the 2600 version of Pac-Man?
No.
It's awful. It's like Minecraft.
Wolves come out at night.
The Minecraft.
It was really bad, though.
That's hilarious.
Good
So
times.
30 years of gaming, man. I love it. Nintendo started out as a card company. Actually, the late 1800s. They've been around for a long time.
Really?
So, yeah. Anyway, I don't have any more facts besides that. I just knew that off the top of my head. Router, you got something?
Yeah, a little bit of some sad news. Capcom is doing some layoffs. Their senior vice president,
geez
Christian
Louise.
Svensson, announced that he's no longer
You
with
always
the
come with the
publisher.
layoffs.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm the bearer of bad news. But we talked about this last week or the week before about how Nintendo was like really trying to, be with their employees and be supportive of their employees. And this is, I'm just waiting now. All right, we've got Capcom laying off several more employees in the U.S. office as part of an overall organizational restructure of the company.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they announced the transition to the new generation of hardware and changing industry landscape have required us to adopt our business to best meet our new goals. We sincerely thank each individual for their contributions and wish them well. And that is exactly why somebody from Capcom is going to start their own company and bury you. It's the same thing. Like, I realize that there has to be reorganization. I realize that at some point people probably do have to go. Some people may, and some people may not. But there has to be a line drawn where you either suck it up and you nurture your employees and push them to develop so that you're not missing the boat on this next generation of hardware, or you're gonna get swallowed up. It's such like, I feel like a broken record with a lot of these layoffs. It's the same thing. Overall, it's an organizational restructure. That's all they ever talk about. Why does it have to be a restructure?
Yeah.
So it's sad. So our thoughts go out to all those who had to be laid off. And
sucks,
all I
man.
can say is start your own thing and come back and prove them wrong.
I like that.
I will play your game.
I will support you.
Yeah, I will support you.
Happy Comic-Con to everyone.
Right. Yes.
That's this week, which is awesome in San Diego. I want to go to that one year. Number one,
Yeah,
and I
we
think I could
need
talk
to.
my wife into it because San Diego's where we got married, so I can kind of make it like a let's just go to San Diego because it's awesome trip. And then when I come out of the bathroom in full Darth Vader outfit, she'll be like, "Oh."
Jenny will be on the next plane back. She's like, okay,
She's
see ya.
like, "What's this?" And I'll be like, "Oh, nothing. Don't worry about that."
I'm just gonna go over here, baby.
Yeah.
I gotta go to this convention center real quick. I'll be right back.
I'll be right back. I come back as Iron Man. She's like, what is going on with you? I'm like, nothing. I'm just exploring, okay? I'm just
San Diego's
exploring.
a wonderful city.
Stop being the thumb on the top of my head.
That would be hilarious if you had a Darth Vader outfit that when you turned it inside out, it was like a Jedi outfit.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can only go as a couple things. You know, being black, you have a way lesser, you know, variety of things to choose from. And
Mace Windu, man.
Yeah, Mace.
Come on.
You can always be Mace.
Yeah, exactly. One guy. Thanks. Or I could be Blade.
Thanks, George Lucas.
Hey, man, you don't want him to pull out his taser on you.
That's right.
Well, we don't know how many of those stormtroopers were black. There could have been a lot of those guys. Anyway,
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
I say happy Comic-Con because Sony is debuting the PS4 to the public at Comic-Con this week. So go play it. I don't know if you'll actually be playing the console or like us at E3 be playing a computer under a cabinet with the PS4 on display, making it look like you're playing the PS4 or playing a PC with playing PS4 games. But they're going to be there this week. Go play it if you're at Comic-Con. They're also going to be having contests at the Sony booth, number 301, and they'll be giving away PS Vitas.
Wow.
So that's kind of fun. So go get your game on. I got a water bottle last year. Thanks, Sony. Why you choose this year to give away
lucky
Vitas.
you.
Yeah, exactly. And it leaks. Just saying. Every time I tip it up to drink from it, it leaks.
Well, that's because you got one of them first generation bottles.
Yeah, you got the
The next
first
ones are
generation.
much better.
That's brilliant.
And they're
Oh
faster.
my gosh.
They're faster too.
That's hilarious.
That was good, Hall.
That was really good. Hey,
Is Microsoft going to be at the show too?
I'd imagine. I just saw that. I didn't know if they had already let the public play it. And so I was like, man,
They
why
probably
I was
did.
like, why was that a big deal? So I just happened to see that story. I'd hope that they're there. It's Comic-Con.
Or maybe they didn't know.
You gotta
I
have a
gotta
reason
say,
to
this
go.
is the time. This is the time that I very much miss G4 TV because that's when they usually do their Comic-Con coverage, and they have really good Comic-Con coverage. And I don't know where I'm going to go to get my coverage now.
Comic-Con coverage. Comic-Con coverage. Yeah, that's weird.
Yep, say that like 30
Man,
times.
weird.
Yeah.
Because they always had like all the live stuff, and they had a good show. So I'll have to.
Yeah, I kind of have a
Muddle
soft
around.
spot. Well, I was going to say I have a soft spot for G4 because, you know, in 2004 or 2005, like, I'd watch that stuff and it was really cool to just have the coverage. And that was before the internet, like, kind of took off with video, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
So it was
It was
one
the
of
only place you could go.
resources you had.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I would have that on the TV while I was working too, so I could listen to stuff while they would have it, and they would have it on
Yeah,
all
exactly.
day. It was great. It was awesome. So
Well,
yeah, I kind of miss that. But whatever.
Esquire TV is not
Yeah.
bringing it like G4 TV.
Whenever that restructure happens, because they've
Yeah.
been saying, "Oh, it's going to happen this time," and it still hasn't. But whatever.
Did you guys hear about the Assassin's Creed 4 cover at Best Buy for the pre-orders? Guess not. So you
I
guys
was
know
going to pre-order that too.
you guys
Continue,
know
please.
you guys know Henry Rollins, the
Oh yeah.
actor and the singer. Well, he used to be in a band in the 80s called Black Flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so obviously when Assassin's Creed 4 comes out and people that know that are like, oh snap, Henry Rollins. So I guess I don't know how it happened, but so they took a picture of Henry Rollins and put his face on the main character, Edward Kenway's face, right? And
yes.
sit around the internet. Somehow that made it onto the Best Buy website in Canada. So like when you go to pre-order the game, it was
You have a Henry Rollins face. Oh, that's
Henry
awesome.
Rollins' face over his body.
That
Oh,
is hysterical.
My God, that is awesome.
So I'm so happy that happened, and I think that's hilarious. And I used to actually really like Henry Rollins, like in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
The Henry Rollins guy. So anyway, I thought that was hilarious, and the picture is just so funny because you're like, how did this slip through someone's
It's
fingers?
blatantly obvious.
I mean, if you look at it real quick, it's not blatantly obviously, but I mean, if you look at it for 2 seconds, I mean, it's like the pilot names that came out for that flight that was all on the news.
Lord.
Like you're looking at them, you're like somebody, come on, somebody just wasn't paying attention.
Yep.
Because those things were hilarious. Best Buy has opened back up its pre-orders for the Xbox One. So they were kind of out all over the place, and Xbox has started taking them again. And there's a petition that got started asking Microsoft to switch back their policies to the E3 promises. So change.org, go check it out. There's a petition on there. You can sign it. There's like 27,000 people that have signed it already, almost. I don't know what it does if they get all the signatures they want, but there's a petition there if you're feeling some kind of way about that.
Let me tell you what it does. Nothing.
It does nothing. Honestly, it would do nothing. Even if the petition, if Microsoft receives it, they're already in development. Things are already happening. So,
yeah.
Well, besides the fact that even if they got like 1 million signatures, they'd be like, we're going to sell a ton more of these if we don't appease you 1 million people.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it's weird because their goal is like 40,000. Like, it's not even, I don't feel like it's that much. And so you're like, I don't think that they're going to care. I'm sorry to tell you. Only because I think you're right. For the masses, they did it because of the masses. They didn't do it because of the people that... The
few.
That love gaming and know that was going to be maybe a step in the right direction in the long run. So I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, the stuff that they had would be kind of cool, but the world's not ready for that.
Right. You got to start them off slow, Microsoft. Start them off slow.
Yep.
All right. I'm sorry. Let's do these questions so we can start spoiling. I forgot that we were even spoiling tonight or today.
All right, here we go. Some questions. Facebook. All right, Drew Freeman. I'm calling you out, brother.
What happened?
Drew. He posted a comment. He said, "You never ask my questions. I'll just listen this week. Screaming at my car when you guys don't know something or play something for the first time that everyone else has played for years. Or talk casually about stuff that you don't know about. Laugh out loud, just kidding." He says, "But really, I scream at my car sometimes."
I'm sorry, Drew, that we don't know everything.
Drew, we don't know everything. And isn't it more fun that way, though?
Exactly.
We're kids, wives, and 9-to-5s, people. That's why we're playing games that are like 1 year old, because we can't get to them right away.
Right. Yeah. We don't get free games like the rest of these jokers around here.
Exactly. But here's the thing, man. We love you. And I know I have to go through all 43 other episodes. I know we have posted one of your questions because your name has showed up before.
Yeah.
At the least.
At least once. I'm almost positive it's twice. But we love you, and I hope you're not screaming in your car today. That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got you. We got you back, brother.
Yeah, but screaming's fun sometimes. You need to scream.
It is fun. It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, take it out on us. Take it out on us so nobody else gets it.
There you go. John Fuller on Facebook. If you could turn any game or game franchise into a full-length movie, which would you choose?
Ooh.
That's actually a good one. I think I would do. It'd be interesting to do Uncharted, but I wouldn't want it to be. I don't want it to turn into another Indiana Jones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's hard with that. Yeah,
or Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah, we already have like those kind of adventure games, but that's the one I would go to. Maybe Infamous would be cool.
There you go.
That would be cool.
That would be different.
I think they did that with Ernest Goes to Jail when he got those electricity powers. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I don't think that's. Is that the?
You did not just pull an Ernest Goes to Camp reference.
I just remember when he was shooting was he shooting electricity from his fingers? Was that what it was? I might be totally thinking about like a Goofy movie or something like that.
You might be thinking about Running Man.
But for some reason, I feel like I remember like Ernest shooting from his fingers electricity. That's
awesome.
Somebody out there, please know that I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But correct me.
Awesome.
I need to know what it is.
They probably made a video game based on that movie, so it was the other way around.
What's yours, Hall? That's a hard question.
I hate to say it, but after playing through The Last of Us, I could have seen it like as a movie type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like an adventure movie.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
What about like Journey or something? I wonder if that could be cool. Is that too slowish?
That would be a direct-to-DVD, I think.
Well, it would be too surreal, and there wouldn't be any talking.
There wouldn't be any story.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, maybe if they did, well, obviously Halo. Halo would be a really cool movie, I think.
Well, they're
doing the TV series.
Yeah, we're getting a series out of it, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's probably even better. Who knows?
Yeah, I doubt it.
If they did a good Street Fighter movie, that would have been cool. The old one is terrible. It's actually good to watch as a bad movie, though.
Right, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, all those.
Yeah, that too.
Hilarious.
Oh, gosh. I just thought about Mortal Kombat because I watched Billy Madison a few days ago.
Oh, so great.
And
I love that tweet.
That girl in there is Sonya.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think they never did Spy Hunter. They talked about doing Spy Hunter, didn't they?
I thought they did that with The Rock.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I just didn't see it.
That's quite all right. Clearly.
I don't think you need to.
Yeah, clearly I don't think you need to if it came and went.
I don't know of one. Frogger.
They made a new Pac-Man TV show, didn't they? Like a 3D Pac-Man show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sure that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure it is too.
The thing that's nice about that, though, you can make the story about anything. It doesn't, there's no basis.
Pac-Man goes to the grocery store.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's move on. Matthew Brewer from Facebook. How do you decide on what games to play?
Oh, gosh.
That's a really good question. It really, for me, it's just what I'm in the mood for. Like what I do is I have a stack of games I've played, and then I have another stack of games I still have yet to play, and then I just kind of go through and be like, yeah, I'm feeling like doing this one.
Yeah,
and then,
chip away.
And then you just kind of chip away at it.
I kind of do the same thing, except sometimes it's I'm sick of seeing this on my hard drive, so let me clear this out.
There you go.
Let me play this and get rid of it.
Yeah. I think I go by I like playing what's hot. I know I didn't do it with BioShock Infinite, but I do like playing what's hot. And then I wasn't planning on playing XCOM, but when they brought it out for free, I was like, oh snap, I got to play this. It's free.
What, are you too good for XCOM?
No, I just hadn't had it on my radar just yet.
I'm just joshing you.
Yeah, so that's how I decide. If it's free all of a sudden, I'm definitely playing it. Like Router with Sleeping Dogs. Or no, you borrowed mine and then it went free.
No,
right?
I borrowed yours first and then I got it for free. But that was definitely one game that I knew I wanted to play. And then you had given me the disc, and I'm like, it was sitting there, and I saw it. I'm like, I'm playing it now.
Yeah,
I think friends influence what you play too, because you guys had both played it, and I had it because it was free on PS Plus.
You played it because it was free. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's a good game. That's a good game.
Yeah, it was good.
Good question. Thank you. Our boy Joey McPherson, you guys are predominantly single-player gamers like myself. Is there a game that entices you to become a big multiplayer guy for this next gen? He said, for me, it's The Division. And I would actually have to agree because that looked really stinking cool, and I would love if y'all would join me on a multiplayer adventure on The Division once it comes out. I think that would be really cool. And you know what? I was thinking Battlefield 4 would be really cool.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I Call of Duty sucks me in every time when it comes out. Every time. I mean, of course, if I'm on the road a bunch, I'm going to play the campaign because I won't have internet. But, I mean, Call of Duty, I usually always hop on the multiplayer. And I'm always like, oh, this is stupid because, like, your guns suck at first. And then for some reason, I don't know how it happens, but I just keep playing it. And that's the biggest online game I've played. And it keeps sucking me back in. So that's probably Ghost will be it, probably.
I'm not sure yet. I always like the multiplayer in the Uncharted games. So if they do an Uncharted 4, I mean, the multiplayer is it's going to be even more refined. So it'd be interesting to see what that's like. I mean, Uncharted 3's multiplayer is awesome, and I think it's free right now. So
did you guys ever try The Last of Us multiplayer?
No, not yet.
I haven't yet. I wanted to try that soon, though.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Okay, two more from Twitter. Grandma's Boy, at Grandma's Boy 619.
Nice.
What PS3 games would you like to see on PS Plus? I'm assuming he means for free.
Yeah.
All of them? How about that?
Well,
Do you think The Last of Us will be free at some point?
Oh, I don't think so.
Doubt it.
Not for a while. Because Uncharted 3, it took about, 2 years almost?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think, you know what's funny? Well, I guess PS3 games. Gosh. I'm trying to think what I've been wanting to get and just like kind of keep myself from getting. And that's what I'd want to go free. Because I was kind of like XCOM. Like I was like, oh, I need to buy it, but there's these other stuff that's coming out. My year subscription is coming up. So there's stuff I was spending money on already. And I was like, and then it went free and I was really happy about that. Gosh, I don't know.
Your wish came true.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one for you. I would love to see Resistance 3 on PS Plus because I got to play that game.
I would too. I think it may not though, just because I don't think they're doing anything else with that franchise. But maybe they are. Who knows? Maybe they'll do another game and then they'll put 3 for free.
You know what? I would like to. Ubisoft. A guy from Ubisoft was saying that the popularity of Far Cry 3 was so big that, of course, they'll do another one, which I think is awesome. And so for my people out there that haven't played Far Cry 3 or that it looks too stupid to them to want to pick it up, I'd love for that to go free just so some more of our listeners could play that because I think that was an awesome game.
Yeah. And I was the same way. I'm like, this game, like last E3, I was like, this game, I'm not interested in it. That was one of my least favorites. And then boom, it came out and I was like, this is amazing.
Exactly. Good question.
Yep.
I bet that Need for Speed Hot Pursuit or one of those games is going to go free eventually.
Yeah.
We don't. There's not a ton of racing games that go on PS Plus, is there?
No. So I bet that's due. So
good question.
We got good questions. We got thinking questions this time.
Good
It's
thinking
too
question.
early
Last
for me
one.
to be thinking that hard.
Last one to round it out. Casey at Casey Comics. What are you hoping to see come out of Comic-Con this year? Some good freaking trailers.
That's what I was gonna say for movies, though. Actually,
Good freaking
I want to see trailers for movies.
I want to see.
yeah, I do too.
I think the new
actually.
X-Men is showing down there, isn't it? I think it's supposed to show.
I don't know.
I would love that.
Speaking of, the Wolverine movie's coming out soon, isn't it?
That looks good. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord, because the first one sucked. I thought.
Oh man, I hope they redeem themselves.
I didn't mind the first one actually. I thought it was pretty
when
good.
he was like looking at his claws in the bathroom, and oh my gosh, it looks so
what the
bad.
heck?
I was like, would y'all do this in friggin' MS Paint?
Mario Paint.
Mario Paint.
And bring this back around.
Yeah,
Let's play.
nice. I like that.
That's awesome.
Man, well, thank you guys for all your questions. Or wait, sorry, did I jump on somebody? Did anybody else have a Comic-Con, what they wanted? Hall?
I think we're unanimous that it was all trailers. We want trailers.
Yeah, which is weird because I want trailers for movies. Just great movies. Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games, marriedtothegames.com, Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Send in your video game memories. I want to hear them, and I want you guys to hear them. So I want everybody to remember your name, where you're from, your favorite video game memory. Do it on your, iPhone voice recorder. Do it on whatever. Do it on your laptop and send it to us. mailbag@marriedtothegames.com. Holler at us. We're on YouTube. And be looking for that Bradley C video. It's gonna be awesome, man. He comes with the freaking knowledge. It's incredible. And thanks for listening. We're not up out this thing just yet because we are going to spoil The Last of Us. Right?
Spoiler cast.
The end of the show
begins now. If you're not wanting to listen to spoilers of The Last of Us, stop and delete this now.
Yes.
We're
Stop
married to the
listening.
games and we're out. Peace. There
If
you
you're
go.
if you're driving in a car and this is on a CD, take the CD out and throw it out the window.
Yes, we're giving you ample time. Do not be mad that we did this. If you're listening to us in the background and you're cleaning your house or you're working and you're not paying attention, hey, we're about to spoil The Last of Us.
Or you're screaming in your car, Drew.
I think he's screaming, just go ahead and get over with it.
Yeah,
already.
he's probably
Okay.
like, on to the next podcast. We love you, boy.
All right, The Last of Us. It was an incredible game. And
Yes.
it freaking haunts me for some strange reason. Like the fact that we have that now is it almost ruined. It was like when Lost came out. I know that everybody's not a fan of Lost, but when Lost came out, it changed television for me because you were like, oh, they can do this. They can tell an amazing story on a television budget. And I feel like that's what they did with The Last of Us. The story is incredible. The attention to detail is stupid. The tension is ridiculous. And the ending was incredible. I think they could have gone 8 different ways with the ending and they could have all been right. Hall, what are your thoughts?
By the time I got to the ending, I was thinking I'd like to see deleted scenes because I know they had to have a few scenes that they took out.
Had to have.
Yeah. The ending was chilling, man. I was like, whoa.
Yep.
You know, basically, and of course our listeners, if they're listening to this, they know. You know,
unless they're Xbox guys. Some guys might be listening just because they want to hear the ending if they haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, basically. Well, okay. Yeah, the whole time Joel is taking Ellie to the Fireflies. Basically,
they're like a militia group.
She has.
They're like the rebellion.
Oh man, yeah, we do need to break this down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fireflies are kind of a militant group that are that exist 20 years into the future after basically the fall of man. What happens is the cordyceps is kind of like a fungus, and I think I was watching one of the videos on it, and they said they got the idea because there's like a fungus in nature that like takes over animals. I think it's called cordyceps. It's the same thing.
Oh, wow.
And they were saying, well, what if that happened to humans?
Is that like mad cow?
So,
yeah, but way
I'm not
worse.
Sure, it just basically just takes over the organism.
Wow.
So, and they were saying, you know, what if that happens to man? And I remember seeing, like, when I was seeing stuff about The Last of Us, I was just thinking, oh, zombies. But it's not necessarily just zombies. It's, you know, a fungal infection that's kind of just taken over human corpses.
And they said too in the game, just real quick, it's a heightened sense of aggression. And so it's not that they don't know what they're doing, but it's just they have this sense of, you know, kind of just bloodlust. It's kind of how it felt like explained to me. I don't know. Sorry, Drew. You're probably screaming at the phone.
I mean, I do remember there was one scene, you know, when you're with Henry and his brother. And his brother says, you know, some people say that once you get infected, you know, you're basically your soul is gone. Like you're no longer that person.
As soon as he said that, I knew he got bit. By the way,
yeah, same here. I mean, I kind of figured that that's what happened. Just I knew something bad was going down.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I always leave myself open. I never, like, if there's a movie that I really want to see that I like, that I'm excited about seeing, because, you know, we all get dragged to movies and you're like, okay, and you're figuring it out as it goes. And so I did that with this. I try to be surprised by everything. I tried to not ever, like, you know, attempt to know what was about to happen. And so I took everything at face value as it came. And it made it so much like when Tess got bit, when Sam got bit, when Henry shot himself. I was like, all those things caught me off guard, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going home.
I knew Tess was gone from the get-go.
It's one of those things where you know, because we've seen previews, that you're not running around with this little girl and a full-grown woman. So you know something's got to happen, but I love the way that, you know, it's like, you know, the whole game opens up with Joel's daughter in the bed. Or on the couch.
That was gripping.
Oh,
on the couch.
That intro, and best intro to a video game.
Yeah, it was incredible. And so for any of us that have been following The Last of Us, the first thing I thought was, oh snap, that's not Ellie. So she's obviously going to die. And so it starts with Joel's daughter on the couch. She's waiting up for him. He's working late. It's his birthday. She wants to give him a present. And so she gives him this watch, which he keeps on through the rest of the game. And then it goes through this whole thing where the outbreak starts to happen. It starts to reach their city. They're kind of rural. They don't live in a, you know, in the city. And then, you know, the whole thing happens. Joel's trying to save her. They get shot, and she gets shot through the stomach, and she ends up dying. And so I love that, you know, that people are going to have to die, but the way they play it out is so incredible. And it really was gripping, Hall, like you were saying.
That first intro piece, it was like, because you're vulnerable. You don't have a gun. You're carrying your daughter as you're going along, and then you get stopped by the guard. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
And then they go through the cutscene and it goes from there. What I did like, though, is that it wasn't just, 5 years later or 3 years later. It was like 20 years later.
I loved that.
That's when the story picks up. I think that's really great. You see, you could tell the difference in Joel's facial features, too. Like, he's just more weathered. And, it's just kind of cool. And you could tell he's still just carrying that weight of the world on his shoulders.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Hall.
Oh, basically, I was going to say, when the game started and they did the 20 years later, I was like, how old was he in this previous scene?
Yeah, he had to been 30 something.
Yeah.
I would imagine he was probably, because later on in the game, he tells Ellie, I was young when I had her. So we can only assume that he was maybe 17 or 18, I guess, which would make him probably about 32.
Right.
So then in the game, he's probably about 52 or so. I was like, man, I hope I look 52. That good when I'm 52.
Seriously.
But his face was old. His physique was nice, but he was an old-looking 52 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe that's coming from a brown guy, because, they say black don't crack, so,
I liked how they did the subtlety with the character interactions and relationships. So, like, they didn't have to come out and say that Joel and Tess had some kind of thing going on. It was
Relations.
just there. Yeah.
It's just, you could tell I thought you could tell there was something there, but it's not there anymore. They're just kind of partners now.
It was like a mature, it was for a mature audience. They would know that adults would get it.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't have to spoon feed you that they've been sleeping together.
Yep,
at some point, and that something went wrong. You'll feel this as it plays out. And it really plays to the voice acting. Again, we've talked about before, we having Brandon, who played Henry, on the show last week. I mean, you're like, my gosh, the voice acting and the performance capture is all incredible. The way that Ellie would hunch under, Joel's arm when they were walking up against something and things like that. And oh my gosh. It was
attention to details.
Okay, so let's get to some spoiler stuff, because we're kind of just talking about the game.
Yeah,
game.
Which everybody knows by now.
Right. So, I mean, I knew, I would have put $500 on the fact that someone was dying at the end of this game.
I agree. I thought it was Joel. I thought it was going to be Joel.
So did I.
Of course, me too. I was like, Joel's going to die before this whole thing is over, and that's going to suck, and I don't want to go through that.
Right.
I really thought that thought. Let me ask you guys this, because some people have handled it differently as I've been talking to people. So you come to find out at the very end, well, you find out earlier that Ellie's immune for some strange reason. She's been bitten. It doesn't affect her. The spores don't affect her. And then it comes at the end that she's immune because something that's grown on her brain that's blocked out, this other thing that takes over. So they're going to have to kill her, essentially, to harvest whatever it is from her brain. Joel's like, you're not taking this girl. You know what I'm saying? He goes Rambo on him, right? Which was incredible. I mean, up till the end, I did not know how they were going to play this thing out.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, Snappy just got knocked out. What's going to happen now? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so you walk into where she's getting surgery at the end after fighting your way through all kind of army guys. And there's a doctor there that's like, you're not taking this girl. And he grabs a scalpel. What did you guys do there?
I didn't know you had a choice. I just moved forward and he took the scalpel and stabbed the doctor.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened in mine.
Router, is that what happened for you?
Well, I walk in and then my controls just didn't work.
Yeah, they take over the controls.
They take over the controls. I'm like, okay. So my initial reaction usually is to hit triangle. So I did, and of course that's what takes him and then kills him with the scalpel.
That's so funny. I don't know if I even noticed that, or I was so caught up in the fact that I couldn't move at first.
Yeah.
And so he goes, you're not taking this girl. He goes and reaches for the scalpel. He's holding it out. And I just waited. I was like, is he going to do something? And I was like, well, if he's not going to do something, I'm going to do something. And I pulled out my gun and shot him in the head.
Nice.
Well, there you go. That might have been a little easier way to deal with it.
That probably would have been a heck of a lot easier.
And
did you kill the other two?
No, I left them alive.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I did too. I didn't know you could kill them. So.
I mean, you can kill whoever, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
But it was funny because right when I shot him, one of the girls goes, "Oh, you're a monster!" And I was like, "Oh, snap!"
That's awesome.
and you know, swoop up Ellie and start working your way out. You work your way.
That was that ending. Well, okay, go ahead and say what you were going to say, because you're probably going to.
No, you explain it better because I've beaten it now 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. So
I was going to say
the details might be
awesome.
shaky. You do it.
It is awesome how when you picked her up, it was just like the beginning of the game.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was thinking right when I picked
with
her
his
up.
daughter.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's a great point, Hall. It was a total full circle moment.
Man, I didn't even pick that up. I was too wrapped up in what was going on.
It was basically telling her, telling the player, you know, that this is how he felt about her and this is how they showed it. They didn't have to say anything.
That's incredible.
Yep.
So it was really, really gripping.
So you take her out. You're sneaking around. You know, you're trying not to get shot at. You make it into an elevator just in time and go downstairs to the parking garage. Is this all right, Hall?
Yeah.
It's all foggy good for me. And
you encounter the woman that
you
gave
encounter
you
the woman in
Ellie.
Yes, the girl that gave you Ellie in the first place and said, "Bring her to this place." You encounter her in the parking garage, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's got a gun, right? She's like, you know, hey, she's gonna save humanity. What are you doing? And Joel's so set in his ways about, no, you're not killing. I'm not losing another daughter. You know, I hesitated before. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he felt like, and he shoots her. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know that because it cuts to the car. So she's talking to Joel, blah, 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 blah. It cuts to the car with him driving. Did you guys know without a doubt that Ellie was in the car when they started panning out?
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, they leave that so open to suspicion.
Yeah,
like,
but what did you
happened.
feel like?
For a split second, I thought that she would be in the back of the car.
I did too. I was kind of like, I couldn't see him not having or not taking her with him.
Yeah, I think I figured that. I think I hoped she was in the car, and it was so much fun because at the end of the game, this game gripped so many people that were on the bus that they were just watching me play the end of this game.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, and so I had like an audience, and it was incredible. And I remember one of my guys going, "She's not in the car. She's not in the car. Oh my gosh, she's not in the car. Is she going to be in the car? I don't know if she's. Oh, she's in the car!" Like that. And so it was so fun just as that, and people were like smiling. Some people were just like mouths wide open, and because it gripped them so quickly. You know what I'm saying? And so I was hoping she was in the car, but I totally would have understood if she wouldn't have been.
Right.
And then they do the flashback showing you that he shot her and got out of there. And then obviously,
the part where he's like, you just come after her.
Yeah, you would just come after her and kills the girl. So
holy
good.
crap.
And then
awesome.
comes the big lie at the end. You know, they're walking. You can tell she can tell something's wrong with Ellie, and Ellie's like, "Do you swear that," you know, because he had told her, "Yeah, they found a dozen other kids like you," and blah 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 blah. They didn't need you.
They failed. They couldn't get it.
So she says, "Do you swear that there was other people? Swear that everything you said about the Fireflies is true, right?" And what's he say? "I promise."
I swear.
I swear. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So a lot of people, because I was listening to a couple other spoiler casts too, a lot of people were saying that now he's all of a sudden the bad guy. And what's funny is at the end of that, okay, he lied to her. I didn't consider him a bad guy. I considered him like a protective father. And just maybe keeping
that's kind of how I felt as well.
Keeping that ignorance and naivety for her so that she doesn't have to worry about that. I didn't take that as, oh, he's a bad guy. I took that as he's just trying to protect her.
Yeah.
I took it as though like he's going to have to live with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
yeah. That might come back and haunt him.
I didn't know if there was a glimmer of hope in him saying, "Man, I hope there are others like her. I'm going to protect this one. They're going to have to find somebody else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a gripping
now
ending.
everybody's dead. I don't think they're going to help anybody.
I know, he done shot up the whole place, shot the doctor.
Yeah, he
shot
pretty
the
much
doctor in the
mowed
head.
down everybody.
He mowed all the fireflies down. So yeah.
Another quick question. So that's the end of the game. I thought it was incredible. Obviously, you guys think the same thing. Question. I was talking to our boy Garrett, and I didn't even try this. When you're Ellie and Joel's got the freaking thing through the stomach, that steel bar, which I thought it was a wrap for him at that point. I was like, well, this game's over.
Yeah, that's
and
what
Joel's
I thought
about
too.
to die. But I mean, I guess Laura Croft could take it too. So
That's exactly what I thought.
His seemed to be more central. His seemed to be more central. So you're playing Ellie. You've got Ellie's backpack on. Did anybody take that into account?
I heard about it and I didn't do it, and I kind of wish I did.
So you can look in her backpack and look at the artifacts she's carrying, which happened to be, I think, a letter from her mother or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a letter from her mom.
All of us need to go back, and I think it's more than that, though. It's I don't know what's in there. I didn't get to do it yet because I left when I go on the road sometimes. Since I've been playing PSN games, I haven't been taking the discs on the road with me. But so I think we all need to go back and play the freaking winter level.
Yeah.
And checking her backpack, because Garrett was saying it opens up a whole different side of the story that you don't get from her standpoint, which I thought was incredible. And it's such an amazing thing, detail. It's an amazing detail to stick in there.
Yeah. I need to do that too.
That's great.
I got a couple other ones.
Yeah.
So who was your favorite side character?
Ooh.
For me, mine was, I thought Bill was hilarious.
Bill was really funny.
I think Bill had grit and he was hilarious, but then he also had a partner, and it kind of showed a more human side to him too.
Depth, yeah.
And I got kind of emotional. Well, I didn't get too emotional, but I was like, oh man, when you see Frank,
right,
just hanging there, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. And you could just tell that Bill was just like, he was done with. He was like,
right,
ugh.
yeah.
But I think Bill and Brandon, I love you, dude. But and I love Henry's character too. But I think Bill really came across because he's like this man's man, gritty guy. But then he's also got this more sensitive side to him too.
And he was kind of a throwback to The Walking Dead. There's a guy that you run across. This is not a spoiler for people watching the show, and the people that are reading the comic has already passed. But there's a guy that's kind of holed up in a city like that. And he's got all these traps set and stuff. And so when I met Bill, it was very familiar. It was like, there's always this guy who's made a whole city his fortress,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Man, favorite side character. I mean, it's hard to not say Henry from meeting Brandon and his story being so compelling so quickly.
Yeah.
And him looking out for his little brother. And I mean, him shooting himself. I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Hall texted me. He was like, oh, Henry just shot himself. And I was like, yeah, that was crazy. Man, I don't know. I mean, all of them were so good. Bill, and they're so good for different reasons. Because I did love Tess, too. I thought Tess was freaking...
I did, too.
I was going to say, I really liked her acting and her voice and stuff. It was pretty much perfect for that character. So.
Yeah. All right, what's your other thing, Router?
What was your go-to weapon?
Oh,
explosives.
Gosh.
Yeah, did you like the bombs?
When I ran into the bloaters, I just saved all my explosives for them.
Yep.
Did you use your flamethrower?
Not hardly.
The flamethrower was extremely effective against the bloaters.
Yeah, I mean, I used the Molotovs and the explosives on them, and that usually took them out pretty quick. So
yeah, I think the Molotovs I made a lot, and those nail explosive things.
Yeah,
with the shrapnel.
I don't think I ever used a smoke bomb, and I had 3 the whole time. Like in my
I used them at the end when you're running through the hospital.
Exactly what I did.
I used them then. Yeah,
there you go.
When you're up against all those people.
Oh, I know, man. That was crazy at the end.
I didn't barely use the bow and arrow until the end too, though. At the end, I did start using the bow and arrow a lot.
I started using the bow and arrow about halfway through because it's so effective for silent kills. So you don't want to alert anybody else.
I did that for clickers. I did that for clickers when I didn't have enough shivs. But if it was clickers, I would shiv them all the time.
Against clickers, my go-to was man, I don't know. I think the melee weapon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd sneak up behind him every now and then.
Yeah,
that's all I did. I
didn't ever shiv him barely.
I always snuck up behind him and shivved him.
I didn't barely shiv him at all.
And then I love that shotgun, man. That shotgun was great.
Oh yeah, that was my go-to.
The little one too. The little pistol with like the little pistol that was like a shotgun, but it only held 2 shots.
Pistoli.
Oh yeah, the shorty.
Oh my gosh,
shorty.
Yeah, crazy.
That's great.
That was awesome. Yeah, they had some good weapons there. The scoped gun was really powerful, but you only had 2 shots, so the reload sucked.
Yeah, I didn't ever use that gun. I didn't ever use that.
I used it for like 2 military guys, I think, and that was about it. And then, but yeah, the shotgun was my go-to.
The cool thing about this game is that the weapons, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I had a nice double shot on the shotgun because I took out 2 runners at the same time with my shotgun because they came close and I blew both their heads off. It was awesome.
Dude, how about that scene where you're up in that house and you're shooting from the window as they're making their way down to the... Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that was great.
Insane.
That was a really good scene.
I've told that joke that Ellie told Sam, like, to 3 people as a bad joke. At one part, she's like, do you have any jokes? And he's like, no, do you have any? And she was like, yeah, I've got one. Why can't your nose be 12 inches long? And he's like, I don't know why. And she goes, because then it'd be a foot. I've told that joke like 5 times to people like, you ready for a bad joke? And they're like, yep. And I tell it. I think it's
I'm going to have to use that today.
Yeah,
it's just so funny. It's such a great dad joke.
Yep.
Did you have any other questions, Ryder?
What? Let's see. I had favorite character. I had weapon of choice. No, I think that's it.
I gotta say, the part where she runs away and you chase her down and she's like, and she's looking at the girl's diary.
Yeah.
She was like, this is really all they had to worry about. That was so sad.
Oh my gosh. That was so potent.
Yeah, she was so like, boys, movies. This is all they had to worry about.
Oh my gosh. It was incredibly potent.
Yeah, it really was.
And I love the giraffe scene too. I thought that was...
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. That was so cool.
It came out of nowhere, but it was a very nice... Because you're just coming off a pretty intense battle. And you come off and then, boom. She's like, hey, look at these.
Yeah.
So it was a little...
And you were separate. You were kind of disconnected at that point. Remember, it's coming towards the end. And, and she's like, oh, go look at this. And you're like, just happy to... I found myself just like happy to see her excited for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were like, oh, yeah.
She had a smile on her face.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of a Jurassic Park moment, but it was still...
for sure.
It was still really cool. Like, it was a nice, like, reprieve. It was like, oh, that's kind of calming and nice. And, you know, everyone's happy for it.
Yeah, before you have to go kill, like, 45 people.
I thought for sure when the giraffes were walking away that like all of a sudden some runners and clickers would come out and just slaughter them.
They should have made that happen like on your second playthrough or something.
Or a blooper reel would have been awesome where they just go in and like and they just kill them all.
Dude, I hope they release some stuff like just some more behind the scenes footage and some bonuses in that area.
There is some stuff, there motion capture stuff with Troy and what's her name? Angie, what's her name? Amanda or Angie or
the girl who plays Ellie. I forget what her name is.
And it's really good. So I've been there's some stuff on YouTube. If you do a search, you'll see some stuff.
And I hope they do. Well, maybe I don't because I don't want them to mess with it. But you know how people were all upset about Mass Effect 3's ending, and so they did a re-release of the ending. I'm like, man, if you just have it sitting there on a computer, because they had to have worked it out pretty far to, you know, because like Brandon was saying, he doesn't know, you know, certain things about the story because they had him shoot so many different things. And so I'm like, man, I wonder if they did the ending a couple different ways, you know, and if they would ever release that.
They might have.
So, golly,
cool.
Love that game. The Last of Us. It was freaking great.
It was good.
You want to take it out with that Last of Us song?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Let's do it.
We'll do that.
Let's do it. Y'all know where to find us. Kids and Wives and 9 to 5s. I'm Gabe Patillo. For Tim Router, for Timothy Hall. We about this thing. Peace.